Hello, everyone. I am so glad that you are joining us today as we talk about the league. I am your perennial host, the ever-glowing flower, and the man that has it on live as well, Sigtal Lord. And I'm joined again by Ace. As always, can't get rid of him. And today we have a very special guest. We have Baconlicious with us. Bacon, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's glad to be here.
Very glad to hear. Ace, you can go screw yourself, but you're going to tell us how you are anyway.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm good. I'm glad to have Canadian bacon here with us too.
Woo!
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Great country, inferior bacon. But just like most
How dare you.
sweetmeats in the LCUS are brought to you by Old Host. Old Host supports the LCUS, and you can support the LCUS by signing up with Old Host, where you can build your own website. Go to www.oldhost.net and click promotions for details. For every sign up using the coupon code LCUS, 100% of all profits will be donated back to the LCUS. Time is limited, so sign up today, support the LCUS, and support yourself with a website. I know you need one. Week 7.
Week
That
7.
Happened.
Yeah, that was a
Oh
big.
god. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a fun week.
Don't lie. We have an honesty policy here. I ask you.
Oh, okay. And then it wasn't so fun. At least for my team.
Yeah, for a few teams it was. We're definitely in the not so fun gallery here. But who we kidding? Every week's fun in the LCUS, folks. We're all smiles. Blitzkrieg was on by this week. I hope they were sieging somewhere, preparing for this incredible semifinals coming up. We'll talk more about that later. But we had set 1, Gale Force versus White Wolf Gaming, which I will say, very shocking. Very shocking indeed. I called it 0-2 in White Wolf Gaming, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, it should have been.
J-Dog last week called it. The Grand Inquisitioner, I guess, had some kind of connection because he knew what was going to happen. What happened in that game, Bacon? Tell me.
It was rough. The early game, I was not doing well against that Darius. We put. Oh, what actually happened? We made some rough plays. We started crawling back a bit, but as usual, we make some mistakes by overstaying on towers and then getting punished for that. But coming down to that base race was, the fact that we didn't get it really hurt.
It was a fun match to watch.
It was definitely fun to play.
So give us your perspective, Ace.
Well, it seemed to be a really back and forth game. Looking at the match history too, pretty even. Then a huge gold lead coming out from Gale Force that gets pulled back to even, and then another large lead from Gale Force. When them ending in that base race, which was almost play for play, exactly what happened for Game 3 of KT versus IG as well. Choosing not to defend the base and TPing to the other base to kill it is always, well, not always. That's the only 2 times I've ever seen it happen, but is definitely something to be considered in the future.
It cost benefit, man. It's so difficult to make those calls. It's very easy for us to sit here and say that it never works out, except for when it does. I got to commend you on strong play all season, Bacon. You've been a highlight for viewers, which now I am professionally again. So thank you. Incredible work this split, man.
Oh, thanks. I think I played pretty well. The only top laner I really thought I had thought I was gonna have any troubles with was Washed Up, but those games actually went pretty well. And then what was his name from Gale Force was a lot better than I thought it was gonna. Yeah, he was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. We were very much unprepared for the game 1, if you could see with our bans.
Well, he's a strong player, probably one of the strongest ones on their team. So I doubt you'll make this mistake if it ever comes up again.
Definitely not.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking for revenge.
I think Stelios peaks around Plat 1 or something like that. I know we were all super surprised to see him not pull out Nasus, which is one of his most played top laners, and almost banned the whole split. But yeah.
I'd love to see. He really is more of a solo queue champion. Kind of have to work around him in a competitive comp. I think that's why we don't see it too much in competitive play, despite its strong presence. Well, that you can counter it by counter farming. But regardless, set 2, folks, that was Northern Storm versus Team Phoenix. Probably one of the most emotional moments I ever had as a video game player, period, was game 1, Northern Storm Phoenix. They played incredibly well. I can't say that there's something that they capitalized on in particular. It was just consistent the entire way. It was just a spectacle to see after the fact and miserable to participate in.
Yeah, White Wolf had all our faith in you guys.
That could have been mistake 1.
Maybe.
Since this will probably be one of the last times that Northern Storm's brought up during the podcast, like in a competitive setting, talking about this past split, just to wrap it all up. I am so happy that everyone that was on my team was on my team, and I'm sure there's a timeline where Northern Storm's preparing for semis right now, but that is not this one. Everyone on the team played incredibly well and played their heart out. I'm very thankful to have been a part of the team, and I can't wait for seeing these guys and Northern Storm as a brand this upcoming split if it comes back. Make sure you vote for that, folks. I want to see it come back.
That would be nice to see. I wonder if I could get on the next split.
We'll see. Yeah, you'd be a good fit. You'd be a good fit.
You were on it last split, right?
Yeah, I subbed in for mid lane.
Yeah. Sub might be a light word. I think you were there for 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I became a permanent sub.
But yeah, no. It's a good brand. It won the first split, so hopefully it'll be around forever.
Oh, that's right.
Anybody have anything specific about the games? I don't think that game 1 there was anything in particular you could pull out to say. We kind of threw that one in picks and bans. There was strong independent play. Shout out to Shaken Not Stirred for pulling out the Aatrox because I didn't give him a choice. There will be future posts about that, folks, within the next 2 weeks. I promise that I will go more detail about that, but it is such a long, emotional story. We haven't received enough sponsorship money to pay for it, so we'll see. You guys will see it. Anything from you guys about this matchup?
Game 1 or game 2?
Let's go game 2. That was definitely more of a game.
Yeah, game 2, the Veigar and Jarvan from Phoenix went off, and they just controlled the game for a while.
Entirely. There was very little counterplay. Fat Lee was participating in our thoughts, I guess. I don't know if he had direct line to our comms, but we couldn't do anything without him knowing about it and then stopping it or capitalizing.
Yeah, definitely. Versing him when we did, that was a fun match because our jungler, Spicy, would go back and forth on either he predicted us or we would predict him on what he was doing. He's definitely a very good jungler.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, Shaken Not Stirred is actually one of his duo partners. So we thought we had the inside track, but no. We thought he was trapped in there with us, but we were most certainly trapped in there with him. So let's talk about this last set of the night, Option 12 non-lives. Ace, you were a participant in that. Break it down.
Well, it was a good set both ways. Both games were not completely one-sided, even though they both kind of ended that way. Especially game 2 with Baron deciding to take the game. But personally, we came in there with a specific plan, and were able to use it both games. And that really helped us out. Getting the 2-0 means that we actually play them next week as well. So
the rematch.
We're happy that we didn't have to give away a different strategy in the second game. But super scared to go up against them again.
Do you think they'll give you the Ivern again?
It's hard to say because if we get the Ivern again, we can play the same strategy, which worked twice. But they might be baiting us back into the Ivern pick, right?
It's a possibility, yeah.
Yeah. I know that we really like it. It helps me play AD carry better because it helps to get peeled. Um, but yeah, we have a sub in the mid lane this next week too, so it'll be a really different set. But it was a good set between the two. Did you guys see its set at all?
Highlights. I clipped through it this morning. To be honest with you, folks, it was after our set. I didn't get to finish it, but I definitely generated a self-viewing highlight reel. I think that, well, we'll discuss it later, but I think Not Lives is going to perform much better this upcoming week.
I definitely think so too, because now they're gonna have a whole extra week to look into what you guys did, what you guys are going to be playing. So I think this next set should be a lot more exciting. Yeah, exciting.
Well, you know what's really exciting for me? LARPing. Folks, a fun fact, your boy Sig here has actually been a LARPer since he was in high school. LARPing is live action role play. And one of the great sponsors of the LCUS is Nero. Nero allows us to take the massive battle arena offline too with Nero LARP. Nero LARP is a live action role play that has chapters all over the United States. Visit NeroLARPOnline.com for more information, as well as sponsoring this podcast. They also sponsor our Skin Spotlight. So thank you guys for your sponsorship. Tom,
You're welcome
go
to
ahead.
that easy transition.
Well, if we're
It
gonna
takes
keep
some work to be as good as Sega is at this.
you force it. It's really it's a physical thing. Very trained. Only peak of physical perfection can accomplish it.
I'll take your word for that.
But I'm about to eat some crow pie. This is going to be very emotional for me, folks. So please get out your F keys. Let's play some respects to our preseason predictions. I was joined earlier this split in the podcast by Prowler 222 and Arcane Soda, and we made some bold, dare I say, brash predictions on where teams would fall this split, and clickbait title here. You might be surprised how it played out. So let's break some of these down. I want to get mine out of the way as fast as possible, kind of like a band-aid. Just pull it off quick. I did give option one the first place so far. That has proven true. Phoenix, I knew would be a dominant force, but I gave them a dominant force because of the Jungle Pit Goon Stomp. And they really didn't take off until Fat Lee came in. So I give myself partial credit on that one. Gale Force, I was a big believer in their top lane. I thought that would go a lot farther. And Northern Storm, it was the prophecy that didn't happen. Like I said, there's an alternate timeline where Northern Storm stomped all y'all. It just wasn't this one. But that's my top four. I think I called some things correctly, but overwhelmingly, I don't think I could have been more wrong, even with option 12 getting that pick right.
I mean, you got the first two teams right, and then you had the other two at the bottom. So we'll just get rid of the middle ones, and you're good to go.
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Gale Force, Northern Storm, and White Wolf Gaming not respected by Ace. Moving on.
Shots fired.
The
community rankings are probably a good one to go to next.
Very. They're very telling. Honestly, we have Blitzkrieg in last place. I think that was wholeheartedly based off name recognition from the prior split.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. No, it had washed up, and Isaiah coming back from Northern Storm last split, and then 3 people that were either off roll or not recognized. So yeah, that's probably why most people put them in last place.
I can see that, yeah.
White Wolf 6th, and Gale Force 5th, which with the 1-1 isn't super far off, but yeah. And then Northern Storm in 2nd, which most people had Northern Storm fairly high up on their power rankings. I know I had them at number 1. So
yeah, I definitely thought my old team would have done better. I had them for 4th. I put White Wolf up top, of course, because being a little biased. But at least I got 2 of them right for the finals.
Yeah. no matter what, I think this just goes to show the dynamics of the player base that we have. And if you look at teams like Blitzkrieg, it just goes to show you the silver analysis that goes into generating a lot of these community rankings. So I'm excited to see maybe if next split, if we get the reverse Blitzkrieg bump, where maybe they're ranked higher than maybe they actually are. I'm glad they outperformed. I'm always glad to see people excel the expectations that are set forward, but uh, it's exciting regardless. Don't know the impact exactly, but it's exciting.
Yeah, I definitely love rooting for the underdog. So seeing someone that's expected to do terrible, not so great, and then outperform everyone is always a great show to watch.
Most def. Uh, any final thoughts to wrap up the preseason predictions analysis?
Everybody was wrong, and we need to do better.
Yeah, that's pretty close to right. Yeah.
I can agree, and if anything, like I said before, maybe let's have a little bit more faith in the underdog. Bacon called it. That's something we should all practice. So, wonderful. Now, before we move on talking about the semifinals matchup, which this is going to be some of the hypest matches of the split, folks. I hope you're ready for this discussion. I want to talk to you about our second sponsor, Foster Adventure. Third sponsor. Foster Adventure enhances the lives of teens in care by funding social, athletic, and educational opportunities, as well as items that give a sense of normalcy to teens in care, promoting friendships, life skills, higher education, and hope in their future. Donate today. Opportunity awaits. As always, if you want to donate, head over to our Twitch page. After you give it the like, click the orange button. It should be the letter. What letter did you have there, Ace?
I believe it is an A.
Yes, that sounds right. It is the letter A. Go ahead and click that orange A so you can donate to them. They do a lot of great work in the state of West Virginia. Recently, they've been doing a whole lot of fundraising for different opportunities at Christmas to help with some foster outreach. So we love to see the work that they do. We thank them for sponsoring us, and we hope that you as a community can give back. Now, semifinals. What's happening?
Semifinals. So, the first set of games is second seed Phoenix versus third seed Blitzkrieg. And the second set is first seed Option 12 versus fourth seed Nine Lives. The funniest part about this is both higher seeded teams have 2-0'd the lower seeded team during the split. But if the seeds were reversed, the lower seeded team got the 2-0 over the higher seeded team. So we're really close to having, well, I'd say the lower seeded teams being the favorites.
I can see that. Yeah.
And while it seems like it could be one-sided, and people like to pick the first seed, second seed, it's going to be a close one. So the first set, Phoenix versus Blitzkrieg.
Well, I'm predicting Phoenix to go 2-0 here because I really like their mid laner. I sadly didn't get to play against it last split when I was in mid, but playing against them when I was in top lane was quite fun, actually. He seems really good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-1 for Phoenix. They did get the 2-0 earlier, but I wouldn't count Isaiah out versus Exia, I don't know. Out versus Van Hohenheim in the mid lane. And then they also have the strong top laner of Washed Up. I think they're definitely going to put up a fight. It's going to be really close, in my opinion, but I'm going to give the 2-1 to Phoenix just because they got that 2-0.
I agree 2-1, but I think Blitzkrieg is going to play a command in game one off the back of Exia, and then when he gets the ban attention that he deserves in this Blitzkrieg comp, Phoenix won't be making that mistake again. So I'm giving it 2-1, but I'm not. I think game one will be very close with Blitzkrieg edging it out.
Yeah,
Should be very exciting games to watch. I cannot wait.
Yeah, these have been Phoenix is like a super hard team fighting team. ever since they got Fat Lee. Stuff like, as we've all seen, the Fiddlesticks, J4, Amumu, with Darien coming in with the tanks in the top side, and stuff like Twitch and MF from the bot lane. Really hard team fight, and then Blitzkrieg kind of likes to split push with their assassins and their top laners, so lots of kills everywhere, lots of macro everywhere. It's going to be good. The coin is calling out a 2-1 for Blitzkrieg, with the red side winning every single game, actually. So we'll see how that goes.
Interesting. Blessed be its name. May its predictions always reign true in these hollowed halls. Well, what about set 2? Bacon, you start us off. What can we expect out of this option 12 non-lives matchup? Is it going to be a repeat?
I don't think it's going to repeat because I do not think they're going to make the same mistakes by giving Ashley Morgana, because she's really good on that Morgana. And what else did they do? They probably, well, I guess there's a sub mid lane, but I think they're still going to have some good plans set up for either for Prowler or Ace is going to have some bans looking at him as well.
I agree, and I don't know if I'm projecting, but I think that the sub in the mid lane is really going to be the deciding factor. I think that Fat Lee has an understanding of shaken not stirred, that he's going to be able to either exploit or fall victim to. I also think that in the mid lane we could see something that we haven't seen this split, and that is the true tank mid lane. I think
The
that
true
shaken
tank.
I think Shaken Not Stirred, just playing with him this past split, he's not scared to carry on a tank. He's not scared to pick those irregular picks that we haven't, not irregular, but something we haven't seen a lot, like Galio in the mid lane, and put in a commanding performance with it. That would be a very solid solution and allow for that increased pressure on the top and bot side that option 12 seemed to strive in. So who knows? I could be wrong, but I really think that the sub is going to be the deciding factor. Shout out to my boy Shaken Not Stirred.
Well, you've certainly given me some strategies to think about for this Sunday, Sig.
I do that. I am a mastermind of all things.
Speaking of strategies, do you have anything you can give us a little insight of what you think is going to happen or what you guys have planned?
Well, we get blue side again game 1, which I believe is what we had this last week as well. So, I don't know. Like I want to give you some stuff, but I can't do it. But we'll have to see what
fair
they
enough.
end up banning. I think we're prepared for all the change-ups, but not having a forced Anivia ban will definitely be a detriment to us. It's handy having the other team only get 2 bans.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
But I'm gonna say 2-0. I'm agreeing with the coin. I think we'll be able to sweep them again.
Totally not biased at all.
I swear it's a real quarter. I promise.
Well-
Okay, yeah, sure.
Blessed be its name. It's been correct and incorrect through the whole split. And next week, it gets to make its final calls before we maybe look at a retirement ceremony and move on to a new monetary system to judge the outcomes of all our games. But judging is what you guys have done. And by doing that, you've brought us some incredible questions. And I'd like to hop into question time. I want to take a look at this first question. Will we finally have a repeat team in the finals, or will it be a 4th straight season of new logos?
Well,
You go. No, Ace, I insist.
I want it to be a well. I'm on option 12, so biased opinion, it's gonna be a repeat. But unbiased opinion, I want it to be a new logo. I like seeing new banners flying in the background. With that being said, 50% chance Phoenix and option 12 are on opposite sides of the bracket. It's possible they meet in the finals. And then there 100% would be a new, a repeat logo, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's always fun seeing a new team take the title and everyone else fights for it. But having that one team that wins the title 2 in a row, or even just multiple times, that strive to beat that team and I guess show them up and take the title away from them is always really fun in a competitive scene.
It makes for a more entertaining viewer experience. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't think that this. I think that this split is going to be the split where we get our repeat winner. There's just too much. There's too much weighing down these that I've put my money on winning. With Phoenix. Now option 12, I said probably will lose this one because of the sub, but I think that Phoenix would win the Phoenix Nine Lives matchup. So no matter what, I think that we're going to see that. Maybe take that as a prophecy. Maybe next week, folks, if you hear that. That's what I'm thinking. But this also transitions to a question that's not on the. I know Ace is going to love this. Probably the most asked question that I get on a production side is, what are we going to do when we run out of banner room? Ace, this is the hard hitting question people want to know about.
We're going to start asking our viewers to invest in larger monitors, and we're going to make the banner smaller and smaller.
It's efficient decision making by you to let me know that the LCUS is going to be around for decades to come. What is the key difference between Gale Force, Northern Storm, and the rest of the field? How did they fall apart? How could they improve on or be contenders for the next playoff split? For playoffs next split. Ace, I'm interested in your opinion, but I think the best opinion to start off with is going to be Bacon. What is the difference between Gale Force, Northern Storm, and everybody else?
Gale Force and Northern Storm? Well, Northern Storm, well, I hate to be that guy, but you guys had a pretty rough split. I think you guys, I had hopes for you guys for the whole split for being my old team. I don't know if it needed more practice but I definitely think I want to see some shit out of you guys. That would be quite nice. And Gale Force, I only had, this is hard. I don't actually have much words for them. Ace, can you help me out here?
I don't know. They seem to start coming together towards the end of the split pretty well. They did take that last game off you, and they took the 2 off of Northern Storm the week before. They also got the 1 win off of Nine Lives, who was a playoff team. It just seemed like they may have not been on the same page for a little bit of the split, and then they had a lot of substitutes. I know they had 2 substitutes in the mid lane 2 weeks in a row, and at least 1 jungle sub and a support sub, and that sometimes leads to complications when it comes to team performance.
And it also explains a lot of the inconsistency with a strong performing week versus a weaker performing week. So I agree with that. I want to point out for any Northern Storm haters that might exist, we won laning phase consistently, game in, game out. But once a tower went down, you probably won the game. Because we really didn't know how to play the game after that. I went from playing League to maybe Solitaire or Minesweeper, one of the two. So that's my comment on it. You can take what you will. Again, it will be in my tell-all about Split 4.
Yeah.
Is there any questions y'all like?
I just want to add on to that. Yeah, Northern Storm coming out on the infographic in 2 weeks had the most first bloods of the split with 9. 9 out of 11 games is a pretty solid 9 out of 12 games, excuse me. Pretty solid first blood ratio. So no, you guys weren't slouches by any means.
No. Yeah, if only you could convert that to the late game.
What late game? That doesn't exist. We play the important parts.
So I like the question that was directed at Bacon.
Oh God.
Want to read that one out?
With me?
Nope,
Fine.
Sig.
Okay.
Better type of bacon. Canadian bacon, also known colloquially here in the States as ham, or real bacon. The bottom part of the pig after cut.
Well, as a baconlicious myself, both have their bonuses and the goodness. And personally, Canadian bacon, very good. I'm sure you've tried it as your ham, but putting some ham and pineapple on a pizza, look amazing. And having some Canadian bacon for breakfast, but having some real bacon is very good. Having some nice crispy, greasy bacon in the morning, also very fantastic. But if I had to choose, I would go for Canadian bacon every single time.
I value your opinion. I'm always very thankful people come forward with these wrong opinion, these incorrect facts, this fake news. And on this revelation, we're going to wrap up. Folks, as always, we are so thankful for wonderful sponsors that bring us week in, week out this podcast. But the LCUS is brought to you by you, all our viewers, especially our Twitch Prime subs. You guys keep us going. You give us the reason. You keep us motivated. Thank you. If you're not a Twitch Prime sub, please make sure you head over to our Twitch page. Give us that sub. It lets us know that you're involved, you're viewing. Thank you. I want to again thank Bacon for joining us. Thank you for an incredible split. I hope you'll be back with us in the future. Folks, as always, please join us next week where I and whatever garbage they throw together talk about the league. Thank you and have a great week.